go ahead and get started, my party people. Order of operations. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's go. So, order of operations. Here's the number one mistake that everybody makes. I'm gonna start off with this mistake. The number one mistake that everybody makes when it comes to order of operations is they believe that parentheses always comes first, exponents always come second, multiplication is always third, division is always fourth, addition is always fifth, and subtraction is always sixth. Everybody, does anybody want to raise their hand and tell me what's actually wrong with what I just said? Who knows? Well, somebody raise their hand and let us know what was wrong with what I just said. Anthony Weatherspoon, my man, a great conversation that we had earlier, by the way. Go ahead, Anthony. Let us know what's going on, man.
All right. So it doesn't matter, like, the order. If the question has the exponents first, you're going to do the exponents first. And then if it has the parentheses second, then you didn't do the parentheses second. So you have to go in order.
So that's actually, no, still true. The parentheses and exponent part is still going to be true. You always do what's inside of the parentheses first before you do the exponent. So that's still correct, but you're close. You're very close. I want to give Peggy a chance here to see if Peggy can hit us with her reply. Go ahead, Peggy.
Yeah, hello. I know for me, like if there is a parenthesis, you do it first. And if there is exponent, you do that one. And then for multiplication and division, it doesn't matter what comes first. And then for addition and subtraction too, doesn't matter what comes first. You just start with anything that comes.
Exactly. So Peggy just hit the nail on the head there. Anthony, you're very close. Peggy hit it right in the head. So let's go ahead and reiterate that so we can make sure we're good to go for next time. So 1, parentheses and exponent do come first, one after the other. But when it comes to multiplication and division, everybody pay attention here. Multiplication and division, it doesn't matter which one of them happens first. You will do either one, whichever comes first. So whichever comes first, okay? And then with addition and subtraction, the same thing applies. Whichever comes first. All right, whichever comes first. And so I want to actually ask you guys to fill in the blank here. So when it comes to multiplication and division, it doesn't matter which one, you do whichever comes first. The reason is because, I'm going to write this down here, multiplication and division are the same what? Multiplication and division are the same what, everybody? Hey, welcome in, Nelson. Multiplication and division are the same what? They're the same operations. Shout out to Alex who got it there first. Yes, multiplication and division are the same operation. They are the same operation. And I'm going to prove a point here. So I want everybody to obviously please write that down because it's very important for today's lesson. Have you guys ever seen, so before I even continue, have you guys ever seen those memes on Facebook and Instagram trying to trick you, having a problem like, oh yeah, we got 2 times 2 divided by parentheses, 2 divided by 2 times 2, close parentheses, times 2, like trying to trick you, trying to make you think that you have to do all the multiplications first, then you have to do all the divisions. So yeah, those are out there and those really make me mad because the thing is if you know how the order of operations actually work, those kind of memes are just, you look at those and you say, whatever. But if you don't, if you're not quite sure exactly how it works, then you might be tricked into believing that you're doing something wrong or that you will do something wrong. But let me explain why this is the case though, because this is way too important. Think about it like this, everybody. Let me make a little blank screen over here to kind of show you guys exactly what's happening. So real quick, everybody, let's just pretend to look at a number line real quick. So let me go ahead and just set this number line. Let me make it really thick here. Let's go ahead and make one thick old line over here. All right, everybody. So let's go ahead and use this little red dot right here as a number, some random number. Everybody fill in the blank. when I have this number here, if I am subtracting, which direction am I going? If I'm subtracting, which direction am I going? Yep, to the left, right? It's like a Beyonce song, to the left, to the left. Now, think about it like this. If we're adding, what direction do we go in? That's right, Raja. Yep, we go to the right. So just think about it like this, everybody. Just think about it like this. If I'm subtracting, I'm moving to the left. If I'm multiplying, I'm moving to the right. Everybody, no matter which one, addition or subtraction, no matter what, on the number line, we will be doing what on the number line? What word did I emphasize there? Whether I'm adding or subtracting, I will be moving. Exactly. Addition and subtraction are the same operation. They're just identifying movement on the number line. Addition just means, yo, go to the right. Subtraction means go to the left. But no matter what, they're the same operation. You're moving. The plus or the minus tells you what direction. Yes or no, everybody, does that make even a little bit of sense so far? Both addition and subtraction are the same operation. They're just movements. Right on. Now, to follow up on that, I got Cameron who asked a question earlier. I'm just curious, but why did all of our teachers nail it in their head saying it has to be in this order always? Because it's the easy way and they took the easy way out. That's why. Sorry, that's the majority of teachers. They took the easy way out in teaching, and yeah. But let's go ahead and follow up on that, everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about why multiplication and division are the same operation. So let's just go ahead and grab this circle right here. Everybody, quick question. If I had like a circle this size, right? If I went ahead and multiplied, true or false, the circle would get bigger. Yes or no? Right? If I multiply, that circle is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, what happens if I divide, everybody? The circle gets what? If I divide, the circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And if I multiply, it gets bigger again. Divide, it gets smaller, bigger, smaller. Everybody, what's the similarity? If you're getting bigger or smaller, we're just changing what? We're just changing the what? The size. Exactly. Exactly. Whether we're multiplying or dividing, we're just changing the size. And that's why multiplication and division at the end of the day are the same operation. So I can't reiterate that enough, everybody. This is way too important. Multiplication and division are the same operation. Therefore, you do whichever one comes first. Addition and subtraction are the same operation. You do whichever comes first. That's the idea there. If you can get that big idea before we get started today, you're going to be in a wonderful position to succeed today. So yes or no, my party people, does that make sense? Multiplication and division, same operation, do whichever comes first. And also, addition and subtraction are the same operation, do whichever comes first. Let me go ahead and make sure that the white screen is just a little better here. There we go. This should be a little better in a way. There we go. Yep, from left to right. You do go in order, but when it comes to PEMDAS, the parentheses always happens first, exponents always happen second. It just so happens that if you see multiplication and division, you'll do whichever one of those comes first. And then once you're done with those, then you look for addition and subtraction and do whichever one of those comes first. And so we're going to show some examples here right now so we can really start wrapping our heads around this. So before I get started, can everybody see the problems behind me clearly? Are they blurry or are they clear? Just want to make sure. They're clear? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure that because I've been working on the connection, I don't want anything to be blurry. So with that said, let's just take a look at the number one biggest mistake that everybody who didn't know this would have made. And if this is you, don't worry, because we're here to correct these little mistakes so you can get a higher score. I got you. So let's just take a look here. 27 divided by 3 times 3. Just focus your attention right over here. All right. Focus your attention at number one. With number one, and I'm going to zoom in so I can get everybody's attention. So with number one, typically what people would have done typically would have been this. Oh, we got 3 times 3 because you do multiplication first. Everybody help me out. What is 3 times 3? right? Most people would have said 9. Again, this is the wrong way, okay? This is the wrong way. This is the wrong way. Most people would have done this. They would have done 27 divided by, and then the 3 times 3 would have given them 9. And then everybody 27 divided by 9 would have been what? It would have been 3. And guess what? 3 is not even there on the answer choices because 3 would have been wrong. Okay? 3 would have been wrong for the simple reason being that the order of operations happens in the order of operations. Multiplication and division are the same operation, whichever one comes first. So to correct this, everybody, what should have been done first? What should have been done first? That's right, the 27 divided by 3. And it's okay if you're calling yourself out saying, wow, I've been making this mistake. It's all good. It's all good because we're here to grow. And it looks like in 22 minutes into the class, it's already worth it. I'm glad. I'm happy. So let's go ahead and check this out now. What should have been done? Division first. Again, it's multiplication or division, whichever one comes first. And so 27 divided by 3, everybody, what should that be? Right, 27 divided by 3 should give us 9. That should give us 9. And then from there, we multiply by that 3 that's left. Everybody, what would that give us? 27. 27. And that's why C is the correct answer. That's why C is the correct answer here. So go ahead and let me know in the chat box, and please be very, 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 very honest. Let me know if you already knew this or if you learned something new. So type into the chat box, I knew this, or type in, this is new to me, I just learned this. Refresher, knew it, learned something new, refresher, progressing, need something, rusty. I love the participation today, guys. This is what it's all about. And this is actually a record for us today, 129 people. Let's go. So with that said, right on. Right on. All right. So let's go ahead and let's try this next one out. So let's just, again, before we even start this, let's talk about this. In this situation, what are we going to do first? The multiplication and division. Let's talk about it. Go ahead and give me your opinion. Right on. I see a lot of us so far saying that we should do the parentheses, which should mean that we should do the multiplication first. Absolutely correct. Spot on. Yep, we got that right. So when you think about it again, with the order of operations, let me just write out the order of operations above one more time. P, E, M, D, A, S. So notice how they're color coordinated here. Notice how multiplication, division, same operation, addition, subtraction, same operation. But you just read it left to right because, again, you're looking at the parentheses right there. You just do this straight up. And so everybody, 42, that's right there, right? 21 times 2, that'll be right there. We'll take this first, and that'll end up being 42. And everybody help me out. What's 42 divided by 7? Right? We should definitely have a good grip on our multiplication tables here, right? We should definitely be set up here, and that'll be 6. And so, Jose, I see you, brother. I'm going to get through questions 3 and 4. Keep your hand raised. I'm going to get through questions 3 and 4, and I will answer your question. All right, I got you. So here, that is 6, and that's why A would be the answer. Yep, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is probably how the majority of America has been taught, for sure. And so just remember, multiplication and division, same operation, and then addition, subtraction, same operation. So here we go, number 3. Number 3, we have 14 divide 2 times 7. So here's the thing. So many people would have made the mistake of saying 2 times 7. So many people would have made that mistake, but at the end of the day, that is not the correct way. It's not. Remember that multiplication and division. I'm going to say this like a million times because I want you guys to learn and get this down. multiplication and division are the same operation. And so because of that, we would do the 14 divided by 2 first. Hit me, everybody. 14 divided by 2. What's that going to be? That's going to be 7. That's going to end up being 7 times 7. And everybody, 7 times 7. That's actually pretty straightforward there. What's that going to be? Yeah, 49. 49. Yep. So the reason that we did division first, remember this, order of operations, multiplication, division, you do whichever comes first, addition, subtraction, whichever comes first. And so with that said, 49ers. Who did the 49ers play yesterday? Didn't they lose? So up next, 6 times 21 divided by 3. Sorry for calling out the 49ers there. So with that, 6 times 21 divide by 3. So everybody, let's go and get this one done here. To get this done, we're going to take care of what first? Why are the answers A? Hey, I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to set you up for failure later. I don't know. So with that, we have 6 times 21. That's going to happen first. And if you need a little help kind of organizing that, I'll go ahead and do it on the side for you, even though you shouldn't need to. But 21 multiplied by 6, that's going to be 126. But if you didn't know that already, we can do it this way. 1 times 6 is 6. And then 2 times 6 gives us 12. So over here, the 6 times the 21 divided by 3. We'll take care of this first, giving us 126. Then we end up dividing by 3. Everybody, 126 divided by 3 will give us what? That'll give us 42. Great job, guys. Yep. 42 will be it. And that's why A is the answer. And so I was going to show you another way to kind of think about this, but for the purpose of today, not going to be necessary in terms of seeing it in the form of a fraction. So with that said, we are going to stop it right there. We're going to move forward, and I'm first going to let Jose ask his question. What's going on, Jose? How you doing, man?
How you doing, Coach? You hear me?
Yes, sir.
I have a question because I never got this clear. So regardless, I know like the situation, always start from left to right.
Yeah,
then,
we read left to right. Correct.
Oh, and PEMDAS always start left to right because I would always get PEMDAS confused with I forgot what else, and I would go right to left sometimes. Like it would all depend on the like either multiplying or dividing, but now I get it. It's always left to right.
I gotcha. Yeah, you're always reading left to right. So you scan. So it kind of goes like this. And let me just kind of highlight this right over here. P, E, M, D, and then AS. So here's kind of how I do it. When I scan left to right, I always do this. I always scan, okay, is there a parentheses? Yes, no. If not, are there any exponents? Yes, no, move on. Do I see multiplication or division? Whichever comes first. Oh, division.
Whatever's on the first on the train, I get you.
Exactly. So you just scan. Parentheses. Okay, done. Exponents, done. Multiplication, division, either one. Done. Addition, subtraction, either one. And then you keep going.
Okay, thank you, Coach. You make me feel smart now because I would like know how to do PEMDAS, but I would struggle. But now you make me feel smart. Thank you.
This guy make him feel smart, bro. You are smart. Shut the hell up, man. You know what you're doing. You got this. You know you got this, Jose. You're one of the fast. You pick up things. You're one of the fastest kids here. So, shush. All right. So with that said, man, all love. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and present another set of warm-up questions to everybody here. And so obviously, great question, Jose, because I know that other people had that same question. So thanks for asking that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move on to the next set. And I'm going to give you a chance to try these out, all right? I'm going to give you exactly 2 minutes to try as many of these as you want. If you get one done, great. You get all of them done, great. What I want you to try to do before I take over is try to plan out what operations you're doing first. One more time, put your pencils down, listen to me. What I want you to try to do is before you do the problem, literally point out what you're going to do first, what you're going to do second, what you're going to do third. This is part of that planning that we talked about before class started. Because if you can plan before you do, you can do much faster and more confidently. And for example, has anybody here ever stopped like halfway through a problem that they were doing just to be like, okay, where was I? What do I do now? And then out of nowhere, heart rate goes up, test anxiety kicks in, full panic mode. Anybody ever have that feeling? Exactly. Cue the memes. So this is where we absolutely must give ourselves to the progress that we're trying to make by planning before we do. 2 minutes here. I'll set the timer. When you're done, just type ready. But do your best. Try to get as many as you can. The timer started. I'm going to shut up. Go ahead. I'll let you know when 30 seconds are left. All right, let's get to it, my party people. Starting with number 1. So, numero uno. Here we go. 4 plus 12 divided by 2. Okay. 4 plus 12 divided by 2. Let's get this done. Everybody, what do we do first? Add or divide? I got people that know what I'm going to ask, and I love it. That means that you're thinking like a teacher, and I love seeing that. Yeah, first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide first. So if I had to kind of like, give myself the best opportunity here, I would just say here, that's going to be number 1. And then I would highlight this over here as number 2. So let's talk about what this technique is. This is called mapping. Obviously, when you have an easy problem like this, mapping is probably thought of as a waste of time. And I'm not going to disagree with you. But when you're talking about bigger problems, when you're talking about problems that are not 2 steps, that are 4, 5, 6, potentially 7 steps, you can get that crazy. Very rare, but you can get that crazy. What you can expect on the ASVAB is anywhere between 3 and 6 steps. Around the 5 range, 4 or 5 range is probably what you can expect, but you should be ready to do 6 by over preparing, because if you over prepare, you kill the easy stuff. So with that said, this is called mental mapping. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, yo, I'm going to do this first and I'm going to do this second. Therefore, let's go now. Everybody, 12 divided by 2 gives me what? Correct. That gives me 6. So we end up having 4 plus 6. That becomes an easy task for us. 4 plus 6 gives us 10. Correct. Answer is B. Number 1, shout yourself out if you got this one right. Anthony, I'll take your question right after number 4. I got you. Shout yourself out. Give it a yerp. Give it a got it. Give it a yes. Give it a, this is as successful as I've been all day. Hey, whatever you feel. Oh, Anthony, keep your hand up so I don't forget. I got you. So next, number 2. So number 2 here, we got 4 multiplied by 3 minus 2. Everybody, what do we do first? What operation? Is it subtracting? Is it the multiplying with the 4? What are we doing here? Right, we will do the parentheses first, which tells us to first do the subtraction because it's in the parentheses. So mental mapping, subtract, and then multiply as your second step. Boom, mental map it, let's get it. So everybody, 3 minus 2 quickly is, right, that's gonna be 1. And then everybody, 4 times 1, that stays 4. Answer's B. Let's go ahead and move on here to number 3 here. We got 9 minus 3 plus 8. Shameless plug right here, full program if you're into it. There it is. So we have 9 minus 3 plus 8. Ooh, which one should we do, everybody? Should we do 3 plus 8 or 9 minus 3? Which one should we do first? Okay. I think I taught y'all well. Sounds good. We will do subtraction, whichever comes first. Okay, whichever comes first. And so with that said, here we go. 9 minus 3 gives us what, everybody? 6, correct. And we add 8. 6 plus 8, everybody, is what? That's right. And so it's anybody out here who cannot do 6 plus 8 automatically in their heads. Here's a big little tip for you. Download this app, Mental Math Flashcards. Just write this down for now because I want to keep your attention in class. But Mental Math Flashcards Don't try to download it now, because if you have poor internet speed right now, downloading the app in the middle of class will probably get you kicked out accidentally. So don't download it now. Just go ahead and make a note that you should download it later. Great app, great app, great app. There's no excuse at this point in your life to be slow at mental math. It just takes 5 minutes a day. You can do it. All right. Moving forward here, number 4, we got 7 minus parentheses 9 minus 4. So let's just take care of things nice and slow the right way. Everybody, 9 minus 4 is going to give us what? Good. 9 minus 4 will give us that 5. And then we line up that 7 that we had earlier. Let me go and make that 7 look a little more legible. So we have 7 minus 5. Everybody, 7 minus 5 is correct. There we have it. So it's 4 right there. That's 4 problems done. Nice and quick, nice and easy. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is as easy as it's going to get. Christian, I'm looking at you. My goal today is to make you cry. Everybody else, I got your back. Don't worry. I have your back all the way. It's Christian that I'm looking at. So with that said, Anthony, go ahead, take the first question. Then I'll take Cameron, then Kelly, and then we're moving forward.
All right. So on the first one, you did the 12 divided by 2. And I thought you were supposed to do the 4 plus 12 first, but then I looked back and then I looked at the PEMDAS and it's multiplication and divide first. So I guess that's where I caught myself in that, if that's right.
Yep. So yeah, right here. So you kind of go down the list here and you say, hey, no parentheses to do, no exponents to do. Do we have a multiplication or division? Yeah. Okay. Boom. Do that first. So 12 divided by 2 gives that 6. And then we continue.
And then for the number 2, it was the 4 parentheses 3 minus 2. I thought you were supposed to do like the 4 times 3 and then do the 4 times 2.
That would still work out. It would absolutely still work out, because even if you did that. Okay. So everybody, what's that called? So pop quiz time. If we had 4 parentheses 3 minus 2, and we decided to say, hey, I'm going to take this 4 and multiply it by the 3 and multiply it by the 2. Everybody, what is that called in mathematics? Kayla, I can always trust you. Antoine, you're a young blood here in these classes, and you're already doing a fine job, man. Distributive property, that's correct. Distributive property. And guess what? Even if you distribute, you'll still get the correct answer. Allow me to show you. Everybody hit me up. 4 times 3, what is that going to give us? 4 times 3 gives us 12, not 13, 12. That was scary. 12. And then next, everybody, 4 times 2, what's that going to give us? 8. Everybody, do we keep the sign of the number? Yeah, we do. So we'll end up having 12 minus 8. Everybody, 12 minus 8 gives us 4. Still get the correct answer. Right. So Anthony, let me know if that helps you kind of clarify things there for you.
Yeah, that did.
Nice. And so was that it? Are you good there?
Yes, sir.
Woo! Right on. So with that said, good job there, Anthony. Thanks for asking that question. Then we're going into Kelly. Kelly, are you asking a question or making a statement, brother? How we doing?
Hey, good start, man. It's basically the same question Antonio was gonna asking you. I'm just gonna following you more than I can get a little bit closer, because I probably get with the PEMDAS thing, I don't have it right. So
I got you.
Get me a little confusing, but I will continue watching and see if I can get.
Copy this down right here. Yeah. So anybody here who joined a little later, no worries. Again, I got your back. I got your back all the way. Make sure to write this down here. PEMDAS, P-E, just make sure you write the M-D together and make sure you write the A-S together. It's because the M-D, the multiplication or division, it's whichever comes first. Let me go ahead and make sure I really make that clear. Let me make this smaller because that's huge. Whichever comes first right there, and same thing over here. Same thing over here. Whichever comes first. Whichever comes first. Boom. Whichever comes first. All right, everybody. So again, if you see that you have multiplication and division in the same problem, make sure you do whichever one comes first, left to right. Same thing also with addition, subtraction. Just do whichever comes first. Follow that and you will be fine. It's just going to take a couple of practice reps, to really feel that for sure. I can see that. But after you get those reps in, you're going to, start turning the literal like memorization to actual movements and procedure. And that's what we want to do. And so I'll take these last two questions here and we are moving forward. So Kingsley, go ahead. And then from there, we will go with Valerie.
I just want to say thank you for the classes. And I'm coming back to where the last guy asked the question about them expanding, like 4 times 3, you have 12, 4 times 2, you have 8. I think the most important thing is that it's using minimum time to get the answers. And if
Absolutely.
you're going like that with huge amount of numbers, it'll be difficult to even get these answers. Like if you have 105 multiplied by 7 minus 103 multiplied by, it'll be difficult to get easy answers. That's just what I wanted to say. So it's okay that he might go over and over again so that he can get to learn this one, so that he can maximize time and use minimum time to get the answer. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Yeah, that's really what this is all about. It's all about efficiency, but also knowing that if you can do it another way, it's wise to know more than one way to do it. Because more often than not, if we only know one way to do things, the moment that it's presented in a confusing way, we may ourselves get confused. So it's very important that we do give ourselves the opportunity to learn more than one way to do something. But when it comes to the ASVAB and time tests, it is absolutely about the most effective and efficient way possible. Yep. So Valerie, go ahead. I'll take your question, and then we are going to get into our practice sets today. Let's go. What's up, Valerie?
Hi. For the first question, why did you divide 12? Why did you divide 12 first?
PEMDAS, order of operations here. Exponent, multiplication, division. Division happens right there.
Oh, okay.
Happens after.
So I have a question. So if it was multiplication, we would do multiplication first, right? Even though it doesn't matter.
Yeah. If we change the multiplication, again, whichever one of these happens first is what she'll do.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So with that said, my party people, who's ready for some practice? Give me in the chat box. Who's ready for some practice, some harder practice? I see over here that OTGKNRM is looking for some hard practice. So what kind of an ASVAB coach would I be if I didn't try to make at least one person cry today? Christian, looking at you. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into that practice, baby. So here's how it's going to work. Just like we just warmed up with. Hey, don't worry, Kevin, you can get it too. So, so with that said, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to give you all 2 minutes per practice set, all right? I'll take all questions after I'm done explaining all 4 problems. So if you do have a question, hold it until I ask, hey, does anybody have any questions? Then pop those hands up. We'll answer those questions one by one. Now, I'm going to present 4 questions each. The first question will be the easiest. The second question will be harder. The third question will be even harder. And the fourth one will be the hardest. Here's my expectation. For everybody here, I fully expect you to be able to look up or come up with a game plan and execute problem number 1. I do expect that from everybody here, especially in a 2-minute time frame. On math knowledge, you get 1 minute and 15 seconds per question. So if you think about it, giving you 2 minutes for one question, I think that's reasonable to expect to get that one done, to check your work and be good. But you have 4 questions, so it's about 30 seconds per question. So do I expect everybody to get all of them right? No, I don't. That's not the purpose of here today. Everybody, what do I always say? I'm going to unmute everybody real quick. It is not about getting the question right or getting it wrong. It is always about the
effort you put in.
Understanding.
No, why?
Got to put in the effort.
Gotta at least try to eat that.
And the why. So we can understand the why. Always about the why. Because if we cannot grow from our mistakes, then we've lost. And if we cannot identify what we've done right, then we will lose. So we have to make sure we can identify those mistakes to make progress, all right? They're going to get harder and harder and harder, but we will understand how to do every single one of them by the end of today's class. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into acing the ASVAB time. Again, I'm going to time you all for 2 minutes. Don't reveal any answers. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Number 1, 8 minus 1 multiplied by 5. So to get this one done, 8 minus 1 multiplied by 5, PEMDAS will take care of the parentheses first, which means we will perform the 8 minus 1. And so everybody, 8 minus 1, that's going to give us what? Help me out. Help a brother out here. 8 minus 1, that will give us 7. Then you repeat these operations, multiplied by 5. 7 multiplied by 5. What does that give us? 35. Correct. And so therefore, that gives us answer B here. Number 1 is B. Are you correct or incorrect? Shout yourself out. Let's see. Right or wrong? Yes, no. There we go. We should be feeling pretty good. Like if we got number 1 right, again, we're feeling pretty good. If we got it wrong, let's go ahead and point out what it was. Like actually speak it out loud and say, okay, well, what did I do wrong? Did I do 1 times 5? Why was that wrong? Why was that wrong? Oh, because it's in a parentheses. I got to do the 8 minus 1 first. That's really it. That's just that humility that you need to approach these problems with. Because again, math doesn't care about how you feel. It's more so about the understanding. So number 2, diving on in here. So everybody, number 2 seems harder, but it's only hard for one additional reason. It's just one more step. The last question, subtract, then multiply. Here, we got 3 operations happening. So this is where that mental mapping that I was talking about earlier, this is where it's really going to help out. So let me go ahead and show you what mental mapping kind of looks like. So I'm taking an honest look at this and I say, hey, there's parentheses right here. So this is what I'm going to take care of first. Then what I see is, okay, after I do that addition, I don't care what the number is right now. All I know is that once I'm done with that addition, I got another parentheses here that it's inside of. And so I'll perform that multiplication second. And once I'm done with all of that, then I see that outside of it, then I look at, okay, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. I see division right there. So yes or no, everybody, do you see how mental mapping can help you reduce the stress that you might feel here? By saying, hey, we're going to add that first parenthesis on the innermost, then I'll multiply to get outside, then divide once I get on the outermost side, going from in to out. That's it. That's really it. And so let's go ahead and take ourselves through the problem so we can see how we get the correct answer. Everybody hit me up in the chat box. 11 plus 3, what's that going to be? 11 plus 3 does give us 14, correct. So 11 plus 3, that's going to give us 14. Then what did we say we would do next? Okay, step 2 was going to be multiplied by that 2. Everybody, 14 multiplied by 2, what is that going to give us? That's going to be 28. And then the last thing we said that we would do, step 3 right there, we divide by 2. Everybody, 28 divided by 2 gives us what? 14. And so therefore the answer is C. And we're all good. I'm going to show you another way to do this. I'm going to show you one more way to do this, but I want everybody to let me know if that made sense or not. I'm going to show you one more way to do this. Feeling pretty good about it? Okay, cool. So in math, everybody, in math, when it comes to solving equations, you know, we typically do the opposite operations, right? Now, everybody, what happens when you do the opposite operations with the same exact numbers? What's that C word that always happens if we do the opposite operations with the same numbers? What's that C word called? You know, when we're solving equations, we got an x plus 5, and we have to do a minus 5 on both sides. It's going to cancel out, right? Yeah, it cancels out. That's what happens in equations. And so what happens in reality is the same thing. Same thing. If I multiply by 2, so let me go and highlight this. If I multiply by 2, and then immediately after, I divide by 2, everybody, what's going to happen? If I multiply by 2, then immediately divide by 2, what's going to happen? Type it in. I know you said it before, say it again. What ends up happening? If I multiply by 2 and I divide by 2, yep, they are going to cancel. So think about it like this, everybody. If I do some mental mapping, I might have noticed that, yo, the second step is times 2, third step is divide 2. I know that those are going to cancel out. So all I got to worry about right here is 11 plus 3. Everybody, what's 11 plus 3? Oh, word, there's my answer right there. So this wasn't a 3-step problem. This was a 1-step problem. Again, with mental mapping, by analyzing before you actually do it, you might pick up on these little things that you might be able to cancel out. And so with that said, I am going to make a little PSA. Guys, go ahead and grab your brooms and just go ahead and pick your brains up off the floor, put it back in your head. We got a lot more learning to do. But the idea here is, again, we have to mental map because, again, it can save you time. It can save you time. So, Taishma, what I just did here was, again, we saw that step 2 was multiplying by 2. And step 3 was the exact opposite. It was dividing by 2. And so what we ended up doing was multiplying and dividing the same number cancels out. So by, and we are ending up with the same answer that we would have gotten. Same answer that we would have gotten, but less steps. Because what we would have done was say, hey, 14 times 2, 28, divide by 2, 14. You get the same number, but you just take way more steps. So with that said, I'm going to get into number 3. Keep your hand raised, Monique. I got you. So once we go through number 4, I'm going to go ahead and get back to you. I got you. All right. So number 3, everybody, did anybody get to number 3 and was like, yo, this is a little disgusting? Anybody look at this and say, this is a little like, bruh. Yeah. So look, this is how we're going to take care of it. Mental mapping. We're going to map this out. Okay. We're going to map this out. So go ahead and put on your Dora the Explorer backpack on. Let's go. So everybody, if I go ahead and kind of line these up, which one would happen first? This subtraction, this one, or division, what's going to happen first? The 13 minus 3, exactly, because it's the inside of the parentheses. So for those of us that are asking like, yo, what are you talking about, man? Parentheses comes first, but the common question is, which parentheses comes first, homie? I see a parentheses inside of a parentheses. This is a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. This is Inception right now. How do you do this? Well, the answer is, well, you take a look at the parentheses, and then you do the order of operations inside the parentheses. So I look inside the parentheses. Oh, there's a parentheses inside of it. So this is what I'll do first. One more time. Does that make sense, everybody? If there's a parentheses inside of another parentheses, you do the innermost parentheses first. Does that make sense? Yeah. We do the innermost parentheses first. Let's go. So because of that, let's go here. This is step number 1. Then when I do some mental mapping over here, again, I'm not going to do any operations yet. I'm just mapping it out. So once this is taken care of, I still got my big parentheses to take care of, right? And so because of that, let me just go ahead and just make sure that this is very clear. Because of that, then what I'm going to do is subtract this, then subtract this, because that's just the order in which it happens, right? When you're subtracting, just go left to right. Just go left to right. Again, this is assuming this already got taken care of, right? I don't know what number that's going to be. I don't care. Yeah, we can look at it. No, it's 10. But the point is to mental map. I take care of this first. Then once I got that, I got the rest of the parentheses. So this, then this. Once that's all taken care of, then we take care of this. Step 4. So again, this is not something that you're going to write out. This is just what you're going to be pointing out before you do it. That way, if you ever feel stuck midway through, you still have your grounding and you're still fine. Now let's go ahead and try it out. Help me out, everybody. 13 minus 3, what's that going to give us? And let me actually rewrite everything here. 25 minus 3 minus 13 minus 3 divide by 4. So, boom, we're going to get 10 first. So with that said, 13 divided by 3, that's going to give us 10. And then we write everything else down. 25 minus 3 minus 10 divided by 4. So step 2, we said then we would read left to right. Everybody help me out. 25 minus 3, what's that going to give us? That's right. That's going to be 22. Cool. 22. Then we still have that minus 10 in there. Divide by 4. Everybody, then we said, step 3 right there. We said we would do it. So let's go ahead and do it. 22 minus 10. What's that going to give us? 12. Yep. And then the last step here is 12 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 gives us what, everybody? 3. Correct. Boom. Right there. So, question, everybody. Did mental mapping help anybody feel like the problem was more manageable or not? Did mapping before you actually did it help you kind of calm yourself down a little bit? Cool. That's what we're going for. We want to be in the right mindset to tackle these problems flawlessly. We can't do that if you're just trying to look at the big picture the whole time. You have to look at the little nuances and think about the step-by-step real quick and then get to it. With practice, this will become more natural. With practice, this will become more natural. All right. Rantaja, I'll be taking letting everybody take a picture of everything in a bit. I got you. So over here, let's do some mental mapping again. This one's even crazier, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 operations happening here. This is nuts, right? We might be looking at this saying, yo, this is absolutely nuts. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, it's all good. If you're able to mental map, you're going to be in a good position. So think about it like this, everybody. Obviously, we have a parentheses here first. Let's go ahead and assume that we took care of the parentheses, all right? So assume that we took care of the parentheses already. Everybody, what's step 2? After we take care of the entire parentheses, what do we do next? Do we add it with the 8 over here? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? This is a good question here. Yeah, we would multiply it by 5. So this is step 1. This entire thing here is step 1. Then what we would do is multiply it here, step 2. This would also be step 2 because this is by itself. You would perform that multiplication for sure. But you have this multiplication over here and this multiplication right here. They're both going to happen at the same time. You can do them both nice and easy. But once you get that multiplication of 5 there and then the 3 times the 8, what are you going to do at the very end? What operation? One word. What's the operation? What's the last one we're going to do? Yeah, we're going to add. That's right. Now, we're not going to mad unless you made a mistake there. Was that David? Yeah, we're not going to mad, David. I mean, unless you got it wrong. But we will add, yeah. You're good, man. Just making fun. It's all good. And so with that, boom, that's going to be step 3. So again, mental mapping. This problem right there, I can agree with you. It looks disgusting, but it's still possible. It's still doable. And there are points for you to earn. So map it out. Take care of this whole parentheses. Once we take care of it, we multiply right there. Got to multiply these together too. But once we have this multiplied and this multiplied, then we're going to add them together. That's the story I'm telling. And that's the story I'm going to follow. Let's get to it. Let's go. So with that said, let me zoom out just a little bit here. And so here we go. Step 1. Let's take care of that. Step 1. Everybody, 15 divided by 5. What is that going to give us? 3. 3 plus 7. What's that going to be? 10. Correct. So this problem automatically went from this big old blob to this. Automatically went from all that to this. 3 times 8 plus 10 times 5. So what did I say? Step 2. Okay, we're going to multiply those things together. Multiply that. Multiply that. Here we go. Everybody, 3 times 8 gives us what? 24. Sounds good. Everybody, 10 times 5. 50. Correct. And what did we say we would do last? We would go ahead and add those together. So everybody, 24 plus 50 gives us 74. And there it is. And there it is. So I'll ask again. And again, please be honest. Be honest, be honest, be honest. Is anybody here feeling better than they did before about number 4? Be honest. Give me a yes, give me a no. Again, you will not be bothering me. I'm doing this to adjust my teaching in case anybody here is feeling that they are worse off. I feel good about it for the most part here. Right on. Oh, we'll review it for sure. I got you. Yeah, so for the question there for number 4, we got 3 by dividing everything by 3. Yeah, the 15 divided by 5 was the 3. So right here was that part. Right there, right there. The 15 divided by 5 was the 3. And then we added the 7 to get 10. Yeah. Cameron, you started rushing a little bit because of the timer. Exactly. That's the fun in this. That's the fun in this. So let me go ahead and give you all the room here to take your screenshots, and then I'm going to start taking questions. So I believe that we had someone up first. Who was that? I believe that was Monique first. Yeah, Monique, I got you first. Yeah, you were first up. So I'm going to let Monique first, and then everybody else second. I was like, why'd you lower your hand? No, I thought you left. I was going to be sad, man. So here we go. No, Monique, put your hand back up, girl. I got to call on you. I got to find your name in the list. Put your hand back up. All right, cool. So Monique, please go ahead. Go first. I got you. Welcome to the classes, by the way.
Thank you. My only question was, you basically answered it for me though, because I seen the problem had double parentheses around it, and that just like confused me a little bit. But once you said always do the innermost parentheses first, I got it.
There we go. Now my biceps ain't as big as they used to be, so go ahead and just pick up my noodle arms. But there we go. There we go. That's what's up. Good question there. So what's up, Kayla? Coming up next. What's up, Kayla? Thanks, Monique.
Hi. I don't think it really matters, but after I did the parentheses first, I did 3 times 8. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
So
it's isolated. Yeah.
So after I got 10. I didn't do times 5 first. I did 3 times 8 first, but I still got the answer right.
Yeah.
So that's okay that I did 3 times 8 first.
Yeah, for sure. Because the thing is, this is what we call isolation when it comes to solving expressions or simplifying expressions. Because if you notice, you have these are being multiplied, and then there's addition. So Kayla, I think we can both agree that, and let me go ahead and give you the mic again so you can mute yourself. But Kayla, we can both agree here that no matter what, with the multiplication being there is no way you would add or do anything that's after that 8 until you multiply the 3 and the 8 together, right?
Right.
Exactly. So that's isolation. And so when you notice isolation, you don't even need to do the parentheses first. Like this is isolated. You can multiply this first before even taking care of the rest of that, because it won't be able to get added no matter what.
Okay, I get it. All right, thank you.
No worries. So did anybody else have that same question there? In terms of like, could we just multiply the 3 and the 8 first and then do the rest? Anybody else have that question? Because that's a good one. That's a very common one, and I love answering that one. That is isolation there. Kevin asks, so before I get into Cassidy here, for 1 second, I see Kevin asking, so basically, coach, it doesn't matter where you start after the parentheses. You just have to do what's in the parentheses. Well, you still have to follow the order there, because once you go inside the parentheses here, so in pink, you see that division happens first, then you add. So multiplication, division happens first, then addition, subtraction. And so no, the order still is followed. I was only talking about this right here, the 3 times the 8, because it's isolated. So just want to make sure we iterate that again. And so with that said, good question there. Let me go ahead and get into Cassidy here. Go ahead, Cassidy, ask your question. I got you.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I had confidence that I got everything right, but then when it comes to number 4, so I did it this way. So I did it the way that you taught, you're teaching us how to do like the parentheses first. So what I did was I got the wrong answer. So basically you told me that, so I divided 15, 5 divided by 15, which is 3. So I rewrite everything down, and then I put 3 plus 7 like in parentheses. So I just want to say thank you. It wasn't a question. I was just letting you know that I had confidence with, writing, like getting all the answers right. But when it comes to number 4, I thought I got the answer right, but no, I didn't.
Hey, so the thing is, the next number 4 and every number 4 that you're going to see is going to be the same difficulty. So your goal is going to be to get that number 4 correct. That's the point of today. It's kind of like a game. If you got 1 and 2 right the first time, try to get 1, 2, and 3 right the next time. If you got 1, 2, and 3 right, try to get 1, 2, 3, and 4 right. If you already got all 4 right, try to do it faster. You know, that's the goal here. We want everybody to grow here. And so Cassidy, I commend you. Come on. We got this. You noticed your mistake. And now let's try to make sure that we look out for the next one, potentially, in the next problem. We got this. So I'll take Jose and then Jay, and then we're moving forward here. And I'll just...
It's just a question because I was looking at number 3. Are we going to be doing negative numbers too, like positive, because
So
positive?
we will. There are worksheets in the math bootcamp, as you already know, with positives and negatives all over the place. And I can make a worksheet for you. But today, I don't want to focus on those nuances with negative and positive numbers. Today, I more so want to focus on the order of operations. And then we will trickle in those negatives with the additional practice.
Because I know there's some in those, like for PEMDAS, because in number 3, I kind of got like lost there for a second. Because on how the 13 and, you know, how the 13 and 3 gives you 10, I was like, oh, am I supposed to do next the 3? And then like, you know how I think, well, I don't know what other problem we did with the next, like 4. I thought I was going to do that. I was going to multiply 10 and 3, but then I figured it out. Like, well, I saw what you did. And every time when you finish, now I know what to do. Bring everything back together down. Don't just do one part, bring everything. That's where I caught my mistake.
No, I got you, man. So
that's why I had questions.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught it, man. I'm telling you, that's what progress looks like. That's what progress looks like.
Yeah, because I got thrown off because of negative numbers.
Hey, right on. So to reiterate the point there for Joshua as well, and I know a couple other people had questions about number 3. So we do want to start off on that innermost parentheses. And yeah, rewriting does definitely work. My suggestion is, as time goes on, rewrite less to do more mentally. Doing more mentally will save you more time. But at the beginning, when you're just doing things, when you're just starting out, feel free. It's completely okay to keep writing everything down. But here we would have had the 10. Then it would have been 25 minus this, minus that. Then once you're done, divide by 4. So kind of just like follow the trail there. Follow the trail there. Do what you got to do. And so I saw that, Jay, you lowered your hand. Are you good? Okay, cool. Just making sure. And so with that said, looks like we got everybody there. If I missed anybody, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll go ahead and answer your question in the next round here. So with that said, my party people, let's go ahead and go into this next round, man. All right. 2 minutes. So 30 seconds per question, or just get as many done as you can. Either way, all love. You got this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And so before I begin, everybody, I did get a couple private messages here in Zoom asking about the full program, about what that logo meant on the bottom left. So if you enjoy the way that I'm teaching, stay until the end. I am going to share my full program with you. The link to it is always going to be right there. It's asvab.info/classes. So if you want to check out the full program there, that's where it's going to be. But I will not give that full pitch and, you know, inform on everything until the very, very end. That way I can respect everybody's time here that came. But at the end, stay to the end. I will be talking about the program and showing you how to sign up if you want to join us for tomorrow and Wednesday's classes. Okay, I got y'all. So with that, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get to it. So we have 8 plus 12 divided by 3. Everybody, which one happens first? Multiplication, division, addition or division here? Addition or division? Which one's going to happen first? It's going to be division. It's going to be division. Remember, with PEMDAS, it's going to be parentheses, exponent. Then remember, multiplication, division, whichever comes first. Addition, subtraction, whichever comes first. So we see right here that we have division happening first, and then we have addition happening second. So if you're looking at PEMDAS and you're going down, you ask yourself, like, what do I see? Oh, I see division happening first, then addition happening next. Boom, bam. And so with that said, let's take care of business. Everybody, 12 divided by 3. What is that going to give us? Absolutely. That's going to give us 4. 8 plus 4 gives us what, everybody? 12. And there it is. Booyah. A is the answer. A is the answer. Feeling pretty good about that. We can probably move on nice and smooth there. Nice and easy. Let's go ahead and get into number 2 now. Number 2. So, we looking at this. Did anybody here look at this and get reminded of FOIL? Anybody look at this like, oh my God, this is foil. What do I do? Right? Take these handcuffs off of me, boo. No, I don't like this. I know, I got y'all. So here's the thing. We have one parenthesis on the left side. We got another parenthesis on the right side. All we got to do is take care of one thing at a time. Hey, no worries, Krista. You know you're going to get the recording tomorrow morning anyway. So let me know if you have any questions, all right? And plus, we have those extra worksheets. We got about, I think it's like 400 extra problems that you can do for this exact topic. Just hit me up. I'll show you how to get them. So with that, let's get to it here. We got two parentheses here. And so what we're going to do is take care of parentheses number one, take care of parentheses number two, and then we will multiply them together. That's it. Again, you want to eye things out and see this. So everybody, 3 minus 1, what is that going to give us? Exactly, that's going to give us 2. Everybody, 11 minus 6, that's going to give us what? 11 minus 6 is going to give us 5. That's right. And so everybody, this is not a trick question. This is a legit question that you're going to have to know for the ASVAB, everybody. I don't see an operation happening between those two parentheses. What operation is it going to be? It's going to be multiplication. Exactly. If you don't see an operation happening between parentheses, it's going to be multiplication. Going to be multiplication. And so with that said, booyah, we will multiply. 2 multiplied by 5 gives us 10. It gives us 10 right there. So Valerie, I think I saw you had a question. Keep it right there, okay? Keep it right there. Keep your hand up. If you still have that question, I'll answer it right at the end. I got you. And so there's number 2. Answer is D10. Moving on to number 3 here. Let's keep it going. Okay, this one's a little smoother actually, because when you look at it, you got addition and subtraction and nothing else. So this one's pretty straightforward, right? This one's going to be just going left to right, add, subtract, and we're done. So we can kind of do this in our heads. If we wanted to, we could do this in our heads. And so let's just kind of follow the line. Let's show some mental math here, everybody. 5 plus 7, what's that going to be? Correct, that's going to be 12. And then from there, let's keep it moving forward there. So 12 plus 9, what's that going to give us? 12 plus 9 is going to give us 21. 21 minus 10, what's 21 minus 10? 11. Then 11 minus 4, what's that going to give us? 7. And that's how you can get D. So that's just a little bit of mental math there. You know, it's always great to challenge yourself in terms of being able to map things out and follow through in your head. But this one was definitely the one to do it with if we were a little nervous about it, for sure. Because you can go 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 9 is 21, minus 10 is 11, minus 4 is 7. Done. And you can do it without putting your pencil to paper. But here's the one that everybody's looking at like, yo, my guy, this is a vomit-inducing swirl of operations. I'm not really liking this too much. And I don't blame you. So let's go ahead and try this one out. Let's see what we got. Mental mapping is going to be key here. This is where you're going to look at it and get your stuff in. And then from there, we're going to tackle this. So we have a parentheses right here that we will take care of first and foremost. Then from here, I know a lot of people are going to have questions here. A lot of people are going to ask, well, should you do this and then go straight to the multiplication and division over here? Is that what you're trying to say, Anderson? Is that what you should be doing? So there's, again, the concept that we talked about called isolation, right? We talked about that thing called isolation, and Kayla brought it up. You could, in theory, again, I'm not trying to confuse anybody, but you could, if you wanted to, you could take care of all of this first, all of this by itself too, and then bring it together. Did anybody do that? Did anybody do all of this, then all of this, and then bring it together? Just out of curiosity. Okay, cool. So y'all understand, if you said yes, that means that you do understand the idea of isolation. You do understand the idea of isolation because the 4 times 36 and then divide by 9, once all that happens, then you do all of this. So notice how this over here doesn't affect this over here because it's separated by addition. It's separated by addition. So you could, if you wanted to, take care of all of this, then take care of all of that, and then bring it together if you wanted to. If you wanted to. I'm going to show you the straightforward way, the strict PEMDAS way, to make sure that it still makes sense, okay? And then I'll come back and I'll do it the other way too. So step 1, take care of parentheses technically. Step 2, then you take care of this. Then step 3, we divide because we're reading left to right. Then once we have all that laid out, then it's literally just going to be subtraction and addition all the way through. So mental mapping tells me, yo, take care of the confusing stuff first, parentheses, multiplication, division, then rewrite everything and then do it. That's what mental mapping tells me to do. Let's go ahead and try it out. So let me just rewrite everything. Right there. All right, so let's get to it. Like I said, step number 1, right over here, 10 plus 3, that's going to give me 13. Rewrite everything. And then we can do the 4 times 36. Everybody, what is 4 times 36 going to be? 4 times 36 is going to give us 144. Okay, sounds good. That is something that we should be able to do. I'm not expecting you to know this off the top of your head, but we should be able to do this, especially on moment's notice. If we need to, we should be able to do it. 36 times 4 right here. 36 times 4. That's going to give you, whatchamacallit, 24. 3 times 4 is 12. Add the 2 is 14. And there we have it. So we have 144 divided by 9. And so everybody, what is 144 divided by 9? Let's go ahead and do that right over here. Okay, so we're looking at it here. 9 goes into 14 one time. And from there, we subtract the 9, we get 5, drop the 4. So now we have 9 going into 54. 9 goes into 54 6 times. So we end up getting 16. And so that becomes 16. Okay, so from here, we just read it left to right. Jessica, shh, I'm going to do that. I was going to come back to that and do it. So I got you. So 15 minus 13, everybody want to give us 15 minus 13? That's going to give us 2. That's correct. That's going to give us 2. And 2 plus 16 gives us 18. So the answer here is indeed 18. It is indeed going to be 18. Indeed. So I do want to point something out here. So did anybody here, when they did number 4, did anybody here by hand do 4 times 36 and then divide by the 9? Okay, I want to show you guys something here. Because if you can, again, if you understand the fundamentals of mathematics, you give yourself a really good shot to save time wherever you can. So everybody, all I'm going to do is this. When it comes to the 4 times the 36 divided by 9, right over here, when you look at this is the same thing as reading this. 4 times 36 all over 9. That's how I read that. I'll read 4 times 36 all over 9. Everybody, what do we know that we can do right up here? What do we know that we can do if we have a numerator and a denominator? What's that S word that we can do? We can simplify. That's right. Everybody, how many times does 9 go into 36? 4 times. Correct. Everybody, I want you to watch this real quick. I want you to watch this. 9 and 36, those are divisible by each other. You can divide them both by 9. So I can divide 9 by 9 to get 1. Everybody, 36 divided by 9 is what? What do we say? 4. 4. And then 4 times 4 gives you 16. You could have done that instead of doing the 4 times the 36 to get 144, then divide by the 9 to get back to 16. You didn't need to do that. If you would have looked at it as its fractional form, if you would have looked at it in the fractional form, you could have simplified it mentally to get the 16 immediately to put yourself in this position from the very get-go and skipping these 2 steps up top. Would that have been nice if you would have noticed that, everybody? Would that have been nice? Absolutely, right? Absolutely would have been. And again, that's what this class is about. Figuring out, understanding those little things that we can do to save ourselves time. So one more time, one more run through, and then I'm going to be moving forward here. It's this. This part right over here, the 4 times the 36 divided by 9, that part right there. What we could have done was we could have looked at it as its fraction form, because 4 times 36, and then we divide by 9. 4 times 36, and then we divide by 9. What we could have done was we could say, hey, look, 36 and 9 are both divisible by 9. Let me simplify first. So instead of getting 144, and then dividing the 144 by 9 and writing all of this by hand, instead of doing all of that, we could have noticed, let me simplify real quick. That's a 4. 4 times 4, 16. And you can skip this and go straight to this. And you would have been done much, much faster. So really wanted to point that out because it's really worth showing, because again, it's all about saving time. It's all about saving time where you can. And so quick yes or no, does that make sense before I start taking questions? Let me know. Hey, right on. Right on, right on, right on. Nice. And so with that said, I'm going to take Cassidy, then Kayla. And I want to ask you guys if you guys want to do it this way. For the next sets of practice, would you guys like me to go ahead and just mark the answers and then give you time to do another practice set? Or would you want me to review every question one more time? How do you guys prefer? We'll take a vote. Would you guys want me to explain everything or just mark and move on? We want more practice. We want to move on. We want more practice. Mark and explain if I can. I'll probably explain the hardest one. I'll probably just mark the last one for sure. Yeah, so the crazy ones I'll go ahead and explain, but then I won't waste time on those lower level ones. Okay, cool. That's fine. Sounds good. So with that said, I'll take questions from Cassidy and Kayla. Go ahead, Cassidy. What's going on, Cassidy?
Okay, so it really doesn't matter if so number 2, so it doesn't matter if you like subtract them from left to right. You still got the right answer, right?
Yeah, because the 3 minus 1 is still 2. 11 minus 6 is still 5. And then you multiply and you get 10.
Oh, okay, I got it. Because I thought the way that you marked it, like the steps, I thought you were trying to like minus 3, 6 minus 3 and something like that. But now I got it.
Oh, no. That's not what I was doing. Good stuff though. All right, cool. And then I'll go ahead, Kayla.
Can you explain something to me one more time? Because I got confused for a second. So with PEMDAS, multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction, it doesn't matter which one comes first, right? You said? Like with multiplication and division, you said it doesn't matter which one comes first. And then same with addition and subtraction. So with number 3, it wouldn't have mattered if we did addition or subtraction first?
No, you do whichever comes first. So
you do it. Okay. You do whichever comes first.
So you would start straight up from left to right because you have addition, subtraction.
That's why with number 4, I got confused at the very end when we got 15 minus 3 plus 16, because I was looking at it as doing technically like negative 13 plus 16 first. But
stop right there. If you looked at it as negative 13 plus 16, you're still correct because you would have gotten you would have gotten positive 3, and then 15 plus 3 is 18. So great job there, Kayla. If you are, so the only reason that I say whichever comes first is because it's in order to protect you from not grabbing the sign. You grab the sign, perfectly done, you're good.
Okay, so but when we look at it, 15 minus 3 can be done first because that's what comes first, technically. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hell of a job there. Right on. All right. So with that said, we're going to move into the next round of questions. So like I said here, I'm going to give you the 2 minutes. I'm going to mark the easier ones, the ones that are a little bit more straightforward. I'm just going to say, hey, correct, incorrect. And then the crazy one I will review. That way we have a chance to get an extra 12 problems in. So without further ado, man, let's keep acing the ASVAB. Hopefully you guys are having fun because I am. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Number one, when I'm looking at this, I'm saying 6, okay, multiply then add. So 24 and 5, 29, answer's A. There's number one. Number one is A. Number two, and I used a random generator, so it's just one of those times where, hey, they would just all happen to be A. So if it happened to be A, then we'll see. So next, number two. So here it's all addition and subtraction. So just go left to right. 6 plus 14, 20. Minus 10, 10. Plus 3, 13. So yeah, number one was 29. Number two, A, again, 13. I'm looking at this one and I'm saying, all right, cool. I got a parenthesis, so I'll subtract, add, and subtract. Once I'm all done, multiply by the 8 at the end. Cool. So 8 minus 1, 7. 7 plus 7, 14. 14 minus 3, 11. 11 times 8, 88. Right there. So again, I'm hoping to show you kind of, again, the idea of mental mapping. Give yourself an easier time, then jump right in. Right there. So lastly over here, I'm looking at this and I see that we have a multiplication at the beginning, multiplication at the end, but let's not forget we do have an exponent right there. Quick question, real quick, everybody. What does that 2 mean? What does the 2 mean right there? What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, I don't mean square, but what does it mean for us to do? Yeah, it means that we're going to multiply that number by itself that many times. So I want to make sure that everybody's clear on this because I don't want anybody here to make the same mistakes that they were making previously. So 4 squared, that means you're multiplying 4 by itself 2 times. That's what that means. So hopefully that doesn't catch anybody by surprise here. Again, squaring a number means you're multiplying by itself that many times. So that'll turn into 16 right here. That'll turn into 16 right there. And so what we're going to do here is we are now going to multiply here, and then read left to right. So if I'm doing this in my head, I got 44. Over here, I got 16 times 6. That should be 96. The reason I know that is because I do 10 times 6, 60. 6 times 6, 36. So together, that's 96. You can do mental math pretty quick. And again, if you are not in one of my program, watch those lessons on mental math. Great lessons will help you calculate much faster. So 96. So 44 minus 12 is 32. 32 plus 96. That's going to go ahead and give you 128. A, right there. And so I'll go ahead and explain number 4 a little more deeply there. I got you. So again, 11 times 4 minus 12 plus 4 squared times 6. So here, that became 16. So then we had 16 times 6. So then from there, we took care of business right here. That gave us 96. Took care of business right there. Gives us 44. And then you just go ahead and read left to right, where we'll have 32 plus 96. And that gives us 128. Right there. And so with that said there, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Got them all right. Hey, that's what's up, man. So I will take a question if we have one. What's up, Kingsley? Do you have a question there?
No, I'm not having a question. I'm just coming back to clarify the last question that we had for coming to this site. She was saying something about going from 20 minus doing and getting a negative sign, something like that. Yeah, so I was just wanting to clarify, like you said, with the addition and subtraction, it does not matter from where you're going to or from how you take it. But the most important thing is that we take note of the signs, because when you do it like that and you're not taking note of the signs, you might fall off somewhere and you get confused. That's just what I wanted to say when you were saying that she did well and she was on the right track, but you need to take most especially note of the signs when you're dealing with subtraction and addition if you're not going from left to right. So you should be very careful with the signs. That's just what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so just reiterate that what Kingsley said here. So over here, if we wanted to, grab the 12 and the 96 together first, make sure you grab the negative 12. It is a negative 12 that you're grabbing, which would essentially be negative 12 plus 96 would give you a positive 84. 84 plus 44 would still get you 128. So again, if you're gonna reverse the order of multiplying or adding or subtracting, just make sure to bring the sign with you. Just make sure to bring the sign with you. So great iteration there. And number 3, Taylor, I got you. So number 3, what you would do here is you would say, hey, look, we got 8 minus 1 is 7. Then we got 7 plus 7, 14. Then we have the 14 minus 3, that's 11. And then you have the times 8, 88. So essentially, Taylor, all we have to do here, so hopefully I didn't confuse you there, but all we did here was we said, hey, look, 8 minus 1, 7. 7 plus 7, 14. 14 minus 3, 11. And then from there, 11 times 8, there you have it. So let me know if that made sense. I know I went a little quicker there, but I want to see if you can still get it, even with me going a little quicker. Let me see if that made sense. Cool. No worries. So with that, any questions here before we move on to the next practice set? Another 2 minutes here. Let's see what we got. Definitely reduced the time there that we took. David, what's up, boss? Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I just did mine like a little bit differently. Like on number 3, it was like 8 minus 1, 7. I just did those separately. Like 8 minus 1, 7 minus 3. I got 7 plus 4, which is 11. I'm pretty sure. I just wanted to make sure. Can we also do that too? Like do it separately, then bring it together.
Yeah, if it's addition subtraction, you're absolutely allowed to do that. Yep, because Kingsley definitely touched on that earlier too, where you brought the sign with you, so you were fine. You did 7 minus 3, but you made sure that it was a positive 7.
Right.
Plus 7. So you did plus 7 minus 3 would end up being plus 4 anyway. So plus 4, 7, 7 plus 4 still gives you 11.
Okay. All right, just make sure.
No, you're good. Yeah, thanks for confirming. This is good. This is good. So with that said, my party people, let's go ahead here. Let's keep growing. Let's keep growing. So 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. I'll mark the divisions. I got y'all. Number 1, if we go quickly about it here, we're looking at this and we're saying, yo, multiply first, then divide. So 9 times 2 is 18. Divide by 3 gives us 6. Right there. All good. Number 2, we have literally all addition, and then right here we have multiplication. So first, make sure to do the multiplication, because that's going to give you 88. And so then we have 15 plus 13 plus the 88. And so here, you just go ahead and go straight forward. With mental math, so I have a Vixia camcorder. It's, I'll get you the exact specs. It's like a Vixia HG 500, something like that. But here, what you can do is, this is one thing I like to do with mental math, everybody. One thing I really like doing with mental math is splitting and gluing. So one thing I'll do here is I'll say, yo, I got 80, 90, and 100 in blue right there. And then I'll add everything else up. I'll add up the rest of the pieces here because I got 5, 8, and 8. 5 plus 8 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. So I can get 116. So did anybody see how I did that there? What I did here again was I split it and glue it. I split it up by the tens places, 80, 90, 100. So that's where the 100 came from. And then 5 and 3 is 8, plus 8 is 16. So this is pretty much the same thing as 100 plus 16, which is 116. So does that make a little more sense there in terms of making things faster? Nice. Cool. Glad you saw it there. Yeah, definitely the strategy you want to use when you can, because you don't want to end up having to write things down straight up and down. So if you want to learn more about that, again, that's mental math videos that I got for y'all. But the answer there would be 116. 116. And so to cap things off, we got number 3 and 4 coming on up. So here, this is straight up addition and subtraction. So automatically what I see in the beginning is cancellation. 4 minus 4, that's a 0. Then we have 9 minus 3, which is 6. And that's 7. That's A. And so there we go, Jose. Hopefully this one was a little better because the 4 minus 4 right there, that cancels out. So you just start off right here. Less work to do. Less work to do. Lastly, over here, this one is a little more straightforward than the other ones. This one might look disgusting. But what this is going to tell you is this. You got a big parentheses here and a big parentheses here. So what you can do is take care of all this, then take care of all this, and then divide. One more time before I continue, everybody. Does that make sense? Do all of this here in the parentheses, do all of this over here in that parentheses, and then divide after. Because the division is between the parentheses. Nice. I want to make sure that that makes sense there. We're almost done here. We got 10 more minutes left. We got this, guys. Come on. So there we go. Let's get to it here. We got 5 plus 6. That's going to be 11. Then 11 times 2. Everybody, 11 times 2 is going to give us 22. So from there, I'm taking a look at this, and what we're going to have is the next part where we're going to take care of 7 plus 5, which is 12. Everybody, 12 minus 10 gives us what? 2. And so essentially what we have is 22 divided by 2. Everybody, 22 divided by 2 is 11. And that's our final answer. That's going to be C. That's going to be C right there. But again, I want to really re-emphasize this. The mapping is really something that's going to save you time and effort and some tears. Because if you can map out what you're going to do before you actually do it, it gives you the opportunity to work faster and with less mistakes. Okay. Hey, Ross, great job. Let's go. Let's go. Anybody here got all 4? Let's go, man. Let's ride. And so with that said, let's go ahead. Let's get this last one in. We're going to get this last set in. Yeah, Stefan, you can in that way because you're dividing one and the other for sure. Samuel, 3 is great too. 3 is absolutely still good. It's progress. It's absolute progress. Let's get this last one in. Then we're going to call it a day. So again, if you are interested in the full program, if you think that this can work for you, stay till the end. I'm going to show you how to sign up and everything. I'll give you all the details and let you make your decision as to whether or not you want to join. All right. But I would love to give you the information about it so you know everything you get. Crazy great benefits, all to help you ace the ASVAB. So let's go ahead and knock out this last one, my party people. 3, 2, 1. Huzzah! Let's go, Jessica. Go. $10 plus 8 times 3. We're taking a look here. Order of operations says multiply first, then we add. So 8 times 3, that's going to be 24. And then plus 10, 34. Answer is C. Then from there, let's keep it going. Number 2. So we're taking a look here. We've got the parentheses that we'll take care of. Then we divide because that's addition. So take care of parentheses, then divide, and then add the 10. So with that said, we have 6 times 2 is 12. 12 divided 4 is 3. 3 plus 10 is 13. Boom. There it is. Number 3 coming up here. That was a division symbol. Kayla, thanks for letting me know about that. Sorry about that. So here, number 3, we've got this divided by all this. So what that tells me is figure out this parentheses, figure out that parentheses, and then straight up, go ahead and divide. So we got 14 minus 2. That's going to be 12. Then we're dividing by 5 plus 2. That's going to be 7. Minus 1 is 6. So we have 12 divided by 6. That is 2. That is C. Christian, it looks like you're good so far. Christian said they're all C. Let's find out number 4 is C. Let's find out. Let's find out. Last one here. Número 4, vamos a ver. Okay. Bienvenidos a la clase de matemáticas. Did the subtitles turn on? My bad. All right, so let's go ahead and go back here. So, my bad. The translator came out. So here, what we're going to do here is we're going to map it all out. We're going to have a good time. So one thing that you could notice, Jessica, great job there. One thing that we could notice is that 7 and minus 7, no matter what, think about it, everybody. So everybody look here real quick. If I'm going to go ahead and do 15, add 7, then subtract 7, that's going to cancel out. That's going to cancel out. I can actually take care of that right now, get rid of both of those, no problem, because we end up getting 15. So then we do a 15 times a 5. If you don't know how to do 15 times 5, well, that'll end up being 75 for the simple reason being 10 times 5 is 50. 5 times 5 is 25. 50 plus 25 is 75. You could do that in your head if you wanted to. You could do that in your head if you wanted to. And so you got 75. Then you're going to take away 12 and then take away 12 again. So essentially what you have, so right there, that becomes 75. And so then you take away 12 and take away 12 again. That's essentially like taking away 24, which does end up becoming 51. And so Christian was correct. Christian was correct. Everything was C for this round of questions. And so, man, did anybody here get them all right? Money. Making that money. So Edgar here says, wait, coach, it doesn't matter if they're not next to each other. Let's say 7 plus 7. So Edgar, the reason that we were able to cancel it out was because of this. The reason was because if I already have a 7, and then eventually I take that 7 away, they'll cancel. So if I start with 7 and I'm subtracting 7 at one point in there, that's going to cancel. The reason I'm able to cancel it is because it's not saying like 7 times 15 or 7 divided by 15. No, it's addition. Same operation. So you can rearrange it if you wanted to say 7 minus 7, then add 15. You could do it that way. Or also, I'm going to show everybody right now. If I do 7 plus 15, that's 22. Then if I take away that 7, I end up getting 15, right back to it. So either way, yeah, it definitely will make sense. Definitely will make sense. You could do it that way if you'd like to, for sure. For sure. So with that, just to kind of go through it again, just to kind of finish it up here. For those of us that are getting 55, it's not going to be 55. It's not going to be 48 either. So I'll go ahead and just show you the rest of it here. So what we have from there is this. We do have that 15, like I said. We multiply by 5. 15 times 5 is indeed going to be 75. Will indeed be 75. So right here, 25, 25. Then 1 times 5 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So that is indeed 75. That is correct. Then from there, if we do 75 minus 12, 75 minus 12 will give you 63. Then 63 minus 12 gives you 51. So that will still work out just fine. We'll still get 51. So hopefully that clears something up for a lot of us there. And so what I'm going to do here, everybody, I know it's 8 o'clock. So what I will do is I'll take Frederick's question real quick. And then I'm going to wrap things up. For those of you guys that are interested in the program, I will get you right. Okay. This one over here for number 2, just to show you here, this was 12. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 plus 10, 13. Boom, right there. Boom. And so with that said, Frederick, if you have a question, I'm going to let me go ahead and answer it quickly because I want to respect everybody's time. And I'll show everybody how to sign up.
Okay. Hello, coach.
How you doing?
I'm number 4. The number 4. The way I did it, I did first. I canceled the 7s, and then the 12. I added up like I did like minus 12 minus 12. I got minus 24.
Correct.
Which is, and then I multiplied the 15 by 5, which gave me 75, and I subtract. Is that? Can you do that too? Can you do that?
Yeah, because what you did very well here, Frederick. What you did very well, and I got to commend you for this, is that if you subtract 12 and subtract 12, that is adding them together, 24, but subtracting it, because you're taking away 12 and taking away 12 again. That will be subtracting 24.
Minus 24.
Yeah, and you got that right.